Live, local, now. This is WIS News 10.
Good Sunday morning. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Paul Rivera. A Low Country man is behind bars after being charged with hitting and injuring a South Carolina Highway Patrol trooper. Deputies say this man, 24-year-old Larry Williams, was arrested and charged with felony DUI. Authorities say the trooper was assisting a traffic stop when he was hit around 1:30 Saturday on Highway 17 in Georgetown County. He was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. And the family of a teen files a lawsuit against First Baptist Church of Columbia, accusing a volunteer in the youth ministry of sexual abuse. The lawsuit filed in Richland County Court this week names the church and several members of the staff. Among them, volunteer of the youth group Andrew McCraw, who's accused of the abuse but is not pictured here. Dr. Wendell Estep, who the lawsuit says has retired but is still listed as pastor at First Baptist on its website, is also named, as well as Reverend Philip Turner, a student minister for First Baptist. The lawsuit alleges the abuse began several years ago. It was known, and the church did nothing to stop it. You can read that lawsuit for yourself. We've posted it with a link on the story on WISTV.com. 4 more people sit behind bars awaiting bond hearings in connection to a recent murder in Lexington County. Amaria Ham, Ashley Riley, Treshawn Alexander, and Moniel Fulton are all charged in a deadly shooting earlier this week in Gaston. Ham was arrested Wednesday along with 23-year-old Chesney Mattress in connection to the fatal shooting of Annette Riley on the 300th block of State Pond Road. Authorities are still investigating how that victim and the suspects knew each other. Okay, looking ahead, a memorial service will be held for 2 soldiers killed in Fort Jackson nearly 1 week ago. Post officials say Private Ethan Schrader and Private Timothy Ashcraft were killed after a military vehicle incident. 6 others were also injured. 2 people remain in a hospital in fair condition. The memorial service will be held Tuesday morning at 10 at the Main Post Chapel. It's a 10-week program that teaches inmates how to become leaders, public speakers, and among many other life skills, but not all of them make it through, and those who do will recognize this weekend at a graduation. Our Caroline Patricus sat down with a few who say this program has changed their life.
A blazer. To some, it may just be an article of clothing. To these young men, it is the beginning.
When I first got here, I was kind of getting in trouble.
Of a new chapter.
And I turned myself around.
Their stories are not easy to tell.
I wanted to fit in. I wanted to stand up.
My dad passed away last year. Yeah, and my mom, she's in and out, and she's incarcerated, so.
For these 5 young men, some of them say it's what put them behind bars, but many say it was just a chapter of their life they're putting behind them.
I've been here 18 months, and over those 18 months, it feels longer, but at the same time, it doesn't feel that long because I've learned so much. Without being here, I would have been the same person I was, and I don't want to be that guy. So part of it's a blessing, which is kind of odd. I mean, yeah, you came to jail, but I learned a lot. I'm glad it happened. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I feel like I've become a better person in all.
Quan has actually changed a whole lot since he's been here at the Department of Juvenile Justice. Leadership, very manable, more well-behaved.
From behind bars, a preparation for outside life starts with the Blazer program at the Department of Juvenile Justice.
Young people are oftentimes faced with so many things that go against them day after day, and oftentimes I've heard people talk about how our youth, they're just unruly, they don't care nowadays, parents don't know how to parent, and then teachers are frustrated because of low pay and not being able to teach effectively. But one of the reasons why I volunteer is because I'd like to break that mold of perception.
The graduates were able to take the blazers home with them, and many of them hope to be wearing it one day to a job interview. Okay, looking live over downtown Columbia. Conditions nice so far, but let's go ahead and get with Vaughn Gaskin for a check of your first alert forecast.
And we're still tracking a dense fog advisory. Yeah, that was a lot of fog on our sky camera. And you probably think, well, the sun's up, you should be able to see, but there are still some areas where that fog is really hard to see through. So if you're going to be driving here pretty soon, you want to make sure that you watch out and drive a little slower. Now, we do still have that dense fog advisory in effect for some of our counties over to the east. This is a bit out of our viewing area, mainly in parts of the PD, but still, you get the point. That fog is in place across much of the state. And as we check the visibility numbers, they're starting starting to improve because during our last hour, we actually saw Columbia with a 0 visibility, but now you're up to about 3 miles. That's also the story in Lexington. So you see, it's starting to improve, and as we approach lunchtime, we will certainly see some improvements there, but plenty of low-level moisture in place. Clouds, not a problem, at least not the ones in the sky. Now, your temperatures will start to warm up based on who sees the sunshine first. And look at Winnsboro, because you've already broken out into a little sunshine, you're up to 72 degrees there, but with that fog in place for Lexington and Columbia, your temperatures will be held down just a little bit. If you're going to be heading out to the State Fair today, go on, enjoy. Just remember, it is going to be a bit warm, so make sure you're staying hydrated out there. Sunny and 87 degrees expected for us. Just want to go ahead and let you know that 87-degree temperature is pretty close to our record for today. The record high is actually 90. That was set in 1985. So some areas will get pretty close to the 90-degree mark. So we'll watch it very closely and talk about how far above our average. Our average for this time of year is actually 77. So this will be our last warm day that we'll see for a while. After this, we'll see all the numbers below 77. So we'll talk details on how that all plays out coming up in just a bit, Paul.
All right, thank you so much, Vaughn. Kitty Weston Nauer, right there. She's one 69-year-old grandma who would rather be on wheels. The BMX racer showed off her youthful skills at a track in Indiana. She was 40 when her son became a BMX competitor, and he was tired of his mom coaching him from the sideline, as moms do. So he gave her a dare, saying, "If you think it's so easy, why don't you try it?" Well, take a look. The rest is history.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
69-year-old Kitty Weston Nauer got hooked on BMX riding almost 30 years ago.
That was probably the most thrilling, exciting, invigorating experience.
She's the oldest female BMX racer in the country and still winning championships.
Okay, so I am 69, big deal. Age is nothing but a number.
Sometimes she competes against women much younger than her, and sometimes even against men.
Why do I continue to race the sport? Number one, fun. Number two, more fun. And number three, even more fun.
She also loves how it keeps her on her toes.
You can look at a track and you'll say to yourself, whoa, that's easy, until you get to that particular obstacle.
Several years ago, Kitty got both her hips and knees surgically replaced. But that's not something that could keep this lifelong biker down. The wheels just keep spinning as she continues to inspire the world.
Doesn't matter that I come across the finish line first or second or third. I always finish. And as I tell people, every time I get on my bike, I win.
That's the way to look at it. Kitty says she's going to keep on riding until she literally can't ride anymore. Just ahead, showing love and appreciation to our first responders and how the local community helped to give back to law enforcement in a major way. And what will the weather look like if you're heading out to Oktoberfest or maybe the LEGO convention today? Well, meteorologist Vaughn Gaskin will have that answer for you in just 2 minutes.
So today will be the last day that we'll be able to track those 80-degree temperatures. And then finally, you'll get that fall feeling, and then you may be in the mood to buy a pumpkin, or you feel like looking at those mums and doing all those fall festival activities, and even enjoying the last couple of days of the State Fair. So today we're going to see that sunshine finally break out. Some of you I know have been stuck in that fog for most of the morning, but once we start to see that sunshine break out, those numbers will really warm up. 86, but in between the hours, we're probably going to get to about 87 degrees, maybe even 88. The numbers will start to dip down as we go through the overnight period, dropping down into the 70s, and then we'll see those 60s emerging as we go through early tomorrow. Now, we do have to talk a little more in detail about tomorrow because that's where the changes move in. So today, nice and warm. Tomorrow, a front will move in and start to kick up some showers and some storms. Some of those showers and storms may produce a punch. We're talking about possibility of just some localized flooding underneath one or two of those heavy downpours, and possibly even a couple of rumbles of thunder. And you certainly need to keep your ears open for that, because some of that will take shape during the morning commute when we have a lot of buses and commuters out on the road. The cooler air will flow in behind this system, but I want to show you what you can expect for your Monday. So great weather for the rest of today if you like it warm, but then going into your Monday morning commute, we'll start to see the light sprinkles in first, and that's what we need to really moisten up the atmosphere because it has been a bit dry. So we get enough moisture coming down, so once the next batch of rain moves in, you're certainly going to see it materialize. So we'll see those temperatures moving right on through, only the upper 60s to low 70s for your Monday. And then that rain starts to fall. This is about 10 o'clock. Still spotty showers across the area. A few of those showers transitioning into a few thunderstorms again as we go through the afternoon and evening hours. This is about 4 o'clock. Notice the line of storms in place producing that heavy rainfall that I mentioned and possibly giving us some thunder and lightning. But I don't believe we're going to see any severe weather. However, we always have that off chance of 1 or 2 storms reaching severe limits, producing very gusty winds. That could certainly happen for you during the afternoon and evening hours. Once things clear out, you talk about some big differences. We'll see your temperatures dropping down to the upper 40s and low 50s. I'll show you that here on the 7-day forecast. So 87 today, 72 for you tomorrow while we're tracking those showers and storms. And then we see 70 for your daytime high on Tuesday. 48 to wake up on Wednesday morning, 73 during the afternoon, and then sunny. And Thursday we're tracking about 76. I believe 76 degrees or so is absolutely perfect for this time of year. We're in the 80s to wrap up the week, though.
Looks good. And Vaughn, I want to get to one more thing before you head off. I know you MC the 27th annual Walk for Life and famously hot pink marathon at Spirit Communications Park in Columbia this weekend.
Yes.
Take us through. I don't think we've asked you this yet. How was that event?
It was so much fun. It is always rewarding to see so many people, the cancer survivors, and all the pink. And I mean, even the guys who are just out there supporting the women. Of course, breast cancer for men and women. We're supporting all those survivors. And look at how cute she is. Oh, just adorable. But I mean, all the pink tutus, the feather boas. I mean, it was just really, really a good event. And I love seeing positive energy and all that money staying right here in our community that they raised.
That's right. And thanks. I'm glad you were able to do that. That's really special.
It was wonderful.
And we know that event, more than $616,000 have been raised for that. Organizers say the funds will help buy a 7th 3D mammography unit at Palmetto Health Breast Center.
Awesome.
All right. Check this out. A 6-year-old boy in Kansas wants to be a police officer when he grows up. He says they're his heroes. This is him right there. His name is Oliver Davis, riding his little motorcycle bike right there. On Friday, he set up a donut stand and invited them over to stop by as a thank you. Oliver is hoping to spread a message of gratitude to the men and women in blue.
I want to be nice to police officers because I'm doing a donut stand for police officers. Got chocolate ones, kind of tire ones.
Oliver says he doesn't need Spider-Man, Superman, or Batman. He just needs his police officers. A Midlands church handed out free meals to police in the capital city this weekend. The Shandon Baptist Church in Columbia stopped by the Columbia Police Department to deliver the home-cooked meals. It's part of their annual Love Loud project, where they take time to hand out food or work on special projects in the community.
Every day we see cops going by or whatever, and we can wave to them or whatever, but we never have that interaction. What this does is gives us a chance to show that appreciation, more than just a pat on the back or a handshake.
Organizers say they've had over 500 volunteers involved in the 25 community service projects over the last several days that make up that Love Loud ministry. Happening today, it's your last chance to get out to the 7th annual Oktoberfest in Columbia. The festival's put on by the Incarnation Lutheran Church on Divine Street and celebrates German heritage with plenty of music, crafts, and food. If you want to park up close, go to Epworth's Children's Home and go through the Divine and Olive Street entrance. There's going to be a small charge, but it will keep you from walking up a ways. And if your kid loves Legos, and what kid doesn't love Legos, and you're going to want to listen up, the Brick Universe Lego Fan Experience is coming to the Columbia Convention Center today. Master builders, yes, master builders for Legos from all over the world will have their projects on display, and nearly 1,000 people are expected to attend. It's happening right now, and that event goes on until 5 p.m. Still to come, it seems like we literally put our lives on social media. But this morning, a former scam artist is telling us about the dangers you're putting yourself in when it comes to identity theft and social media. Stay with us.